Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Matty Highland Smitty McQueen Sports Show on this Wednesday afternoon, early afternoon. Matt, last night there was a huge ranking that dropped in the college football world. I think it shook a lot of people's heads in a good and bad way. Your thoughts on it, first off, and then we will look into it more after your thoughts. So shoot us your thoughts.
Well, the rankings came out. The top four that are in the playoff were Alabama, who is the only undefeated Power 5 team left. Ohio State at 2. Michigan stayed in the top 4. They're 3. And then Clemson's 4. I don't agree necessarily with the 2 through 4. Or actually 3 and 4. I agree with number 1 because Bama is the best team. Number 2, Ohio State's crushed people the past few weeks, and they have beat some decent teams doing so. And then 3 and 4, and even 5 and 6 with Louisville at 5, Washington at 6. I feel the reason they put Clemson at 4 is because the only reason is because they beat Louisville. The head-to-head matchup, that's the only reason I believe they kept Clemson in above Louisville. But I don't agree at all with the Michigan at 3. I figured Louisville would be 3. Or like a Clemson-Louisville 3, T3. Maybe. Michigan lost to Iowa, who is now 6 and 4 with that victory. Clemson lost to Pitt, who is 6 and 4 as well.
Yeah.
Louisville didn't lose. So
I think we're seeing how they are going about their playoff committee selection. You are going by head-to-head, I think, over anything right now. Yes. Non-conference, early preseason games or non-conference games, they're definitely taking a hit into it. But by far, I was looking at who people have lost to this year. That there's only one undefeated team in the top 4, Alabama. They are obviously, I think Alabama could lose and they're still in the playoff. I think it's just they're the favorite in the SEC and they've been dominant for so many years. They can take a loss and they'll still be in it.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing Clemson lose and Michigan lose and Washington lose, they'll be in it. The big key is Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh beat Clemson, and they've also beat another team in the top 10 in Penn State at 8. So I was really shocked to see Michigan only fall 1 spot. I thought they would maybe jump out Clemson and Louisville would jump in. Just because I think Louisville would have been... It's hard to say. I guess Louisville, they got to be under Clemson just because of the head-to-head. But the Pitt is a team that is upset now 2 teams in the top 10, which not many people think of. Unlike Iowa. Iowa, they have not beat another team in the top 10. So that is where I feel like Clemson and Penn State, they have now that Pitt beat Clemson, Penn State has a, argument to say, hey, you keep Clemson in the top 4, we should be up 2, even though we, have 2 losses. Their other loss was to Michigan. And it's going to play itself out because you look.
Penn State also beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
At home, which just because it's at home doesn't mean squat, in my opinion. But they beat now a number 2 team in the country, a top-notch college football team in the country, and they're still only number 8.
Yeah.
This is going to be tough, a finish, because 4 of the top 8 are Big Ten schools.
Yeah.
Is the Big Ten the favorite now, like, in the eyes of the committee, or are they going to beat each other up eventually?
You look at Ohio State and Michigan still got to play. They finished the Big Ten schedule. If Penn State was to win out, they would play for the Big Ten championship because
They
they
had
had
to win
beat
over Ohio State. Yes.
which is just not many people would think that. If that happens, does Penn State jump up? Because they're playing at
And if they beat
if they win the Big 12 championship,
or whoever gets there.
yeah. I this is gonna play itself out. The team you need to look out for is sitting at 10, and we've been talking about them a lot. The Colorado Buffaloes. It's hard to say that because they've been down so many years. By far, their head coach of the year already. I don't even think any of the others are they deserve to be reckoned. But Colorado's coach, what he has done, they're in the top 10, and they finish against this week. They play Washington State, who's ranked 22nd, and then they go to Utah, who's 12th. If they win those two, look who they're going to get: USC or Washington. Probably Washington, but it still could be USC. Both of those teams are ranked. To win out against 3 ranked teams, that's pretty impressive.
Under the radar Power 5 conference
Yeah.
of the Pac-12. I can't agree more.
Yeah.
With Colorado's standing.
And Oklahoma.
Shoot, this is a tough call for anything. For me, my under the radar team, the underdog, the dark horse that could pull away a victory or a few victories and surprise other teams is Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Yes, they lost to Michigan. Yes, they lost to Ohio State. But look at those two teams. One's 2, one's 3.
I'd have to agree. And they played them back to back. They got a bye in between those games, but they played those teams back to back on their schedule. I think Wisconsin, and I think by far Colorado, you've got to watch out for. Those two teams.
Anything can happen.
Washington, they have a tough task ahead of them. I mean, they got to beat Washington State in 2 weeks. First off, they got to beat Arizona State this week. But they got to beat Washington State, who's ranked 22nd. They got the Buffs this week. Really, if you're Washington, you need Washington State to win that game so they keep their ranking. Because if they lose, they're going to probably fall out of the rankings. And so that kind of hurts their schedule. It's a toss-up, and it'll play itself out. You know, we said in the first rankings when they came out, you know, we kind of felt like Washington was getting snubbed. They're undefeated. We said it's going to play out. It's going to play out.
They got in, and now they're back out.
Yep.
In a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 3 weeks now. So.
Yep.
It's college football.
Anything can happen. You know, I mean, we did not see this coming.
Story of this.
Our picks, we had Alabama on Monday. We said we had Bama at 1, Ohio State at 2, Louisville at 3, Wisconsin at 4.
Figuring that the 3 teams
Yeah.
that lost would bump
fall
down
out.
because they all lost to not so good teams.
But we see what the playoff committee is judging by, and it is
Gives us a better understanding of where they're at and
Head
what
to
they
head,
look
for sure.
Head to head carries more weight than the others.
Yeah. So, yeah, I totally. We'll have to see what this Saturday comes down to. We'll have our picks on Friday, Football Friday show, and you know, hey, I wonder if there'll be any upsets this week.
Well, we're gonna switch some gears here and go from football to another great sport of basketball, college basketball to be more specific. With college basketball last night, we had 2 more key matchups in the State Farm Champions Classic with Kentucky, routing Michigan State in Madison Square Garden, 69-48. You picked Kentucky.
Yeah.
Good choice. I went with Michigan State. It appeared your jet lag and my jet lag schmetlag comment didn't want to work. So I got to give that to you. Good pick. Michigan State's now 0-2 to begin the season. Should they be worried with 21 turnovers?
Yeah, I mean, 21 turnovers is not good. It's early. Yes, they, like you said, we talked about yesterday, they flew from one side of the states to the other side, you know, in just 4 days. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty hard to do. You see it in the NBA, NFL a lot. Except NFL has a whole week off. these guys only had 4 days to get to New York and play. So, yeah, it's Tom Izzo's the head coach. Tom Izzo, if you look at how Michigan State starts out usually, they don't start off that hot. Last year they got a big win in the Chairman's Classic against your Jayhawks. Denzel Valentine went off. But Tom Izzo, when he needs to have his team playing good, he has them playing good in March.
Great.
So I don't think you can say they should be worried, because by the end of the year, that team's going to be there. And they're going to be tough. They're going to be really tough. So I think it's too early to say, hey, you need to be worried. Do you think they need to be worried?
No. I agree with you, because it is the second game of their collegiate season, which could end up being 34 games plus the tournament, plus the big dance. If they get that far, not saying they won't.
Which I'm sure, I really think they will.
Yeah. Tom Izzo knows what he's doing. He's gonna get them prepared, get them more closely knit and together, and they're gonna gel so good, because he can do that, and he's done it for years. It's gonna happen. It's Kentucky, the young guns. They are the young guns in this college basketball season. Are they the team to beat so far?
I think right now, it's it's early to tell. But I think the way they've played so far this year, yes, they are legit this early. We'll see, as the season goes on. Can they stay healthy?
Conference.
And is there any surprise team, that's going to come out of the SEC and give them a run? You don't know those things.
You don't know that until people play more than just 2 games.
I'm very excited. I wish we were in the middle of college basketball season when they play the Jayhawks. I am so excited for that game. I think that is going to be a great game. That'll be a test, too, for Kentucky if the SEC is not very good. Face a good Big 12 team, the powerhouse in the Big 12, 12 straight conference titles. Face them, mid-season. We saw the game last year in Lawrence. Crazy game. It's going to be a fun Big 12 SEC matchup for them.
You can't base stuff off of the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
As what your predictions for the end of the season.
Yep.
Injuries happen. Things occur. You never know.
Yep.
People start playing their hearts out that are dark horses. Speaking of the Jayhawks and the Big 12, they also played last night. They they played Duke, the number 1 team in the country, and they're not number 1 anymore. After that, that KU got on a run early, and they kept that run in the second half after the halftime deficit. And they came back, and they were up 12-ish, 13, and Duke started creeping back, and KU got into more foul trouble, and they were playing with 3 or 4 fouls, most of them were, and somehow, some way, Frank Mason hits a 15, 16-foot jump shot.
A couple feet inside,
He got some good separation, just let it fly, and he
stepped back.
I watched his post-game interview today, and he said that he's like, thank God that went in.
Yeah.
He did not want to have overtime with Duke because KU's team would have been fouled out.
Yeah, it was a great win. KU avoids the 0-2 start, which, if they would have started 0-2, no one should be freaking out, because
Duke and Indiana, 2 powerhouses,
2 top 10 teams,
last 50 years,
top 6 teams actually, if they would have lost. So big win for the Jayhawks. Duke had a few guys out, young guns. Big win though. KU, you got to go play the game.
We had some comments last night about the officiating, and today talking to some people. Do you think they called it too tight, or do you think it was just perfect?
I definitely think the first half was really tight. KU had 5 guys in real early foul trouble. Duke had 4. I saw the screen at halftime, and there was 5 KU players, 4 Duke. Some of the calls were just, are you serious? Yes, I know the officiating, they are calling it a lot tighter again, trying to make them, without their hands, play defense. yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. I think at times yes, at times you're going to see that as the game goes on. I think fans are getting upset in Madison Square Garden. You start hearing them boo after a couple of just cheap little calls, but it's early.
You can't get your point across as an official if you don't call tight.
Yep.
Yeah, like if it's not just you saying it, it's other people above you saying, "Hey, you got to do this," or it works out in the end because teams are now going to adjust.
Yep.
They won't be like that at all towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
So I can guarantee that.
Yeah. There was other college basketball upsets yesterday afternoon, evening.
Yes.
Number 4, we kind of talked about it. Ooh, the Ducks. They get plucked by the Baylor Bears, 66-49. Oregon didn't have their best player, Dylan
He's
Brooks.
come back from a foot injury.
Yeah.
He did participate in some drills before the game.
Yeah.
He said he wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Going to be 100%.
And he's a huge asset to that team.
Yes. I agree.
And then Wisconsin. What do you think about them? They fell to Creighton last night, 79-67.
That's a tough loss, but you can't, like we always say, you can't judge them by the beginning of the season at all whatsoever. Creighton could be ranked 10 by the end of the season. Wisconsin could be not ranked. You never know how it's going to play out.
You have Wisconsin as one of your.
I do have Wisconsin as a dark horse. This loss is not going to hurt them at all.
No.
Same
with Oregon.
You quote me on that.
I had Oregon, in the Final Four. Neither of these losses.
Don't be worried, fans, at all. Wait till conference play.
Then we can start worrying if they're dropping game after game or,
losing to a bad team in
Yeah.
the conference. So that's enough about college basketball. We had some. We'll move on to NBA.
Yeah.
First off, we have some matchups tonight.
Some big, kind of key matchups. Some of the best teams.
Yeah, we got the Rockets, who are 6-4, versus the Thunder, who are 6-5. And the Thunder are looking to avoid their 5th straight loss. Does the fact that KD is not there anymore really hurt them? Is it finally affecting them more so than they actually thought it would happen?
Oh.
Or is Westbrook trying to do too much and they lose because of that?
I think Westbrook's got a lot of pressure on him just because he's got to be the guy. Yes, not having Durant, that's obviously a huge factor. I mean, KD is just, you see what he's doing with Golden State. We saw what he did last year in the playoffs. He was going crazy. I think the Thunder will get it together as the season goes on. 6-5, yes, you don't want to fall behind in the Western Conference Finals, or not Finals, but Western Conference, because the Western Conference is a very tough conference. Now without, you used to have San Antonio, Golden State, Clippers, and the Thunder. Those 4 were always there. And then the Mavericks were always there. Blazers were there. Some of those teams are kind of, you look at the Blazers, they're not doing so hot. You also got the Mavericks. Mavericks are doing really horrible this year. So, I think the Thunder will figure it out. Yes, it hurts that Durant's not there because he left. But
big part of that offense.
Yeah.
27 points per game or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. They do have Victor Oladipo, and Victor just needs time, I think, getting into the... Because Victor Oladipo is going to be really good. And yes, they don't have Serge Ibaka now, but they got Steven Adams and Kantner, and yeah.
You got to move on. It's like after a tornado in Kansas. It happens, you move on, you pick stuff up, you try to let it go as much as you can. You can't just have this affect your whole season. You can't blame your whole season on one player leaving. Yes, he's a top 5 player in the league, but you can't ever make excuses.
Yeah.
That is what two palms up, what Sedbrook always says. It's not gonna get you anywhere.
Yep. You gotta go. Yeah.
You gotta keep striving for greatness. LeBron James right there.
Strive for greatness. Hashtag.
Talk about the other matchups.
Yeah,
here.
we got the Warriors 8-2. You know, the favorite to win it all at the beginning of the year. They go to Toronto, who's 7-3, lost a tough one last night to the Cavs in the Eastern Conference rematch. Really close game though. Matt, Warriors begin a 4-game road trip. How do you think they do on this road trip? They go to Toronto tonight, then they play the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Pacers.
My thoughts are they lose tonight because the Raptors are mad about losing to Cleveland because it has an edge towards the end of the season with rankings and standings and playoff implications. Not this early, but you never know.
Yeah.
They go to the Celtics. I believe they might get a win there. The Bucks, they'll get a win. And the Pacers, I don't know. I haven't watched the Pacers yet this year.
Yeah, Pacers haven't lived up to the expectations.
Anybody could win on any given night. So I'm not going to speculate on who wins what. I say Warriors go 3-1.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. If they did lose, I think 2, it would be their first 2, which they have not lost back-to-back games for a very long time. So I just do not see that happening. We got the Grizzlies and the Clippers. Grizzlies 5-5, Clippers 10-1. Clippers, do they continue their hot start? They're kind of a surprise this year.
I looked at the standings this morning, and they are impressive.
Yeah.
They got the team back together. I mean,
this might be
Griffin and Jordan and CP3, and you got the guys who the Redick. You got the 5, 6, the 6, 7, 8 guys who come off the bench.
Yep.
With I believe there's Jamal Crawford still there.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about the NBA, but I know the general stuff.
Yeah.
Those guys, they're clicking, and it's good to click early, like you saw with the Warriors when they went on that hot streak. And it was last year, and it helped them go far into the playoffs. End up losing the championship. That's over. But if you start out so well, it helps towards the end with the Hawks back 2 years ago, having that 20-some game win streak.
Yep.
So we'll see how this happens, or how it affects the rest of the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference.
I really think the Clippers, this is their best shot this year to win an NBA championship. Yes, a lot of teams have, or a lot of people, I guess, have said, oh, Clippers, you can never count them out. This is the first year I can actually officially say, watch out for the Clippers. They are for real. We'll see how they continue. If they continue their hot start.
Assuming everybody stays healthy.
Yeah.
That's the only thing with sports.
Because Blake Griffin, he's been known to get injured, punch things, stuff like that. So,
he's a stud.
Yeah, they gotta have him all season if they have any chance. But yeah, I totally agree. I think Clippers keep their hot start going tonight with a win. Matt, we'll get into the NBA power rankings now. We just talked about the Clippers.
Yeah, our thoughts on the power rankings. Aside from the ESPN and other stuff, I still honestly want to say the Cavs are the most well-rounded team, top to bottom, more so than the Clippers.
Yep.
I have the Cavs at 1, the Clips at 2, and then followed with the Warriors at 3, the Hawks at 4, and your San Antonio Spurs at 5. Those are 5 quality teams in the NBA right now, and they're showing that they are.
I'd have to agree. In mine, I've got the Clippers just ahead of the Cavs, just because the Western Conference, I give a lot of leeway to the Western Conference. It's been by far the hardest conference in the NBA the last 5+ years. The Eastern Conference, though, this year, I think they are finally picking it up.
Because
you're seeing other
teams,
teams,
and they're finally going up. Celtics are rebuilding. They've been rebuilding. So
the Hawks,
they
were surprised.
Raptors,
Pacers
might come back. And
the team you got to look out for is the Charlotte Hornets.
Mm-hmm.
The Hornets, I have them as 7 in mine. They are 7-3 right now. Find out this week because they play 2 of the teams we have in our top 5, they play the Hawks and then they play the Spurs. So they'll get tested this week with those 2 games. We'll see if they are for real. We'll find out if they are for real. They did lose to the Raptors and Cavs this week. So that's why I had to put them at 7 just because of those 2 losses. The Western Conference, really, we've talked. Clippers, Warriors, Spurs. Those are the top 3 teams. I think you can say. The Trailblazers.
Coming up, the Lakers are coming
up.
up.
The Jazz. That's a team you got to look out for.
A team you haven't heard of since John Stockton.
7-5 right now, yeah. And so we'll see how they do this week. They got four games too. Most of these teams have 4 games this week. So, next Wednesday we'll present our next power rankings. Talk a little about the week of what has happened in the NBA and who slips this week, who really skyrockets and stuff like that. So I think right there, that's where we need to end on the NBA because
good thing. We had a key thing happen in NFL yesterday. Your boy, well, not your boy, but the former starting quarterback for them, Tony Romo, held his first press conference since last season yesterday late afternoon, right after our show or before our show, so we didn't want to put it in our show yet.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts from watching? Because I know you watched that press conference.
Yeah.
I tried calling you and you wouldn't answer the phone. So
yeah, it was mixed feelings. As a Cowboys fan, Tony Romo has meant so much to that organization, franchise, and you could tell it hurt him yesterday. And I think it's the right thing to do by Romo. He didn't take questions. I know there's some people that are upset because he didn't answer questions. But come on, you've been the franchise quarterback for so many years. You get hurt, and now a guy that is a rookie is just doing great in Dak Prescott. And some things from his interview I took away. He said, "You're not handed anything in football. You have to go out and prove it over and over. It doesn't just come to you." A great example is Dak Prescott. He has earned the right to be the starting QB for our team after getting us to an 8-1 start. And so he also went on to say, something magical is happening here with this team. I don't want to be causing any controversy, negativity affecting Dak or this football team. And so he wants to just lay it to rest. He wants to just go on, be the backup. He needs to stay ready. That is the key thing. Tony Romo has got to stay ready. And he knows that Dak has his back, or he knows he's got Dak's back, and he expects Dak has his back. And I think they do. Dak always talks about Romo in his press conferences when he was having to deal with, so do you think you should be the starting quarterback when Romo comes back? And he said, Romo's that guy. He's the guy. I knew I was coming in to fill in. I don't think Dak knew, though, he would be the starter when Romo's back. But the way he is playing, it is
imperative that he is the starting quarterback.
You've got to keep him.
You can't stop a rolling train.
Yeah.
So,
what are your thoughts on the press conference?
He handled himself pretty well there with saying, like I said earlier, you move on. Something happens, you get over it, you produce other things. It's like next man up is the key thing for football this year with so many injuries. And Dak stepped up, and now Tony Romo is finally accepted it. Hey, I don't want to be a part, like you said, distraction.
Yeah.
Dak says, okay, I'll keep leading this team. And it helps when you have that quality of an offensive line and 2 very good running backs.
Yeah.
Backs in the backfield that are rookies. So I think 8-1 is kind of a shock to Tony Romo because he's always been 8-8.
Well, he has. And I think Tony handled it as a true professional. most people would be like, man, why would you do that? That's the guy Tony Romo is. He wants to do the best for the team. Yes, he said it hurts that he cannot be out there under center, but it's the right. I think it's the right deal he did.
We have a little thing that popped up from our producer.
Emmett.
Yeah, Mr. Emmett McFarland. Is there a controversy or maybe something that could happen with Tony Romo's gone next year? What do you think? Do you think the Cowboys will have that $17 million at guesstimate for as a backup QB if Dak keeps producing?
Yeah,
and he stays healthy.
That's hard to say.
Or does he restructure his contract?
He might restructure it. The reason I say he will probably restructure is Jerry Jones really likes Tony Romo, and that Jerry Jones earlier in the year said it would be hard if they won a Super Bowl and Tony Romo was not the starting quarterback. He came out and said that. Jerry Jones, though, likes Romo. I don't know if he would do that. The only way he would do that is if Romo really wanted to go somewhere else. That's where I think he would say, okay, yes, Tony Romo, if you want to go, I will move you to wherever you want to go. I don't think he's just going to say, okay, you're going to New York Jets or the Cleveland Browns, you know?
Yeah.
I don't see any of that taking place. I think he will wait till, you know, it is time for, like, Romo to come to Jerry and say, okay, Jerry, I want to be moved. Or, Jerry, what can we do to keep me here? Can we restructure this deal? What do you think? Do you think Tony Romo will be moved?
I think it's time to move on. Just like Alex Smith back in San Francisco, when he got hurt and Kaepernick came up, he come back. Smith moved on.
Yeah.
Same thing with Brett Favre in Green Bay. He moved on because he taught Rodgers all he knew. It's like Yoda teaching Qui-Gon Jinn or Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. He teaches them their lesson and he moves on. Or, you know, he's taught them all he can. And so I think he moves on. Big possible landing spot is the Broncos.
I agree. I
hate to see that as a Chiefs fan because Tony Romo is very good. Even though he has the name for himself, he's a very good quarterback in the fourth quarter with QBR.
Yeah.
Wise.
Well, and if he was not at Dallas, you wouldn't have the crucial put downs of Romo.
No.
I mean, it's Dallas, okay? You either love the boys or you hate the boys. So that's where Romo gets, it's where he gets his flack. It's because he's with the Cowboys. If he was somewhere else, you'd be talking about, oh, he's such a great quarterback, you know. His numbers don't lie. Matt, we'll put that to rest. Maybe Romo will come in this year. You never know. I was watching the herd today, right before our show, kind of. Colin Cowherd said, I could see Tony Romo coming in week 16 or week 17 to be the quarterback for the Cowboys because they've clinched a playoff berth. So, who knows? Who knows? We might see Romo again yet in a Cowboy jersey this year. So maybe he'll be the place.
Well, he's going to be in a jersey because he suits up every game.
He might be holding the football on PATs. I hope not. But yes. Matt, moving on though, we'll put that to rest. Last night, World Cup qualifying in soccer, Costa Rica cruised past the U.S. with a 4-0 win, puts the U.S. in an 0-2-0 in the qualifying round after falling also Friday to Mexico 2-1. Your thoughts on the U.S. soccer and the qualifying of the World Cup?
They are god-awful. They aren't helping themselves out by losing to these teams. I know Costa Rica gave them fits previously. Has given them a lot of fits because they are now 0-9-1 in World Cup qualifying road games versus Costa Rica.
Yeah.
Now they have a 60% chance that they qualify for the World Cup in 2018.
Yeah, which that was through ESPN, I believe,
According to
last
ESPN,
night. Yeah.
Why are they losing so much? Does it have to do with goalkeeper? Because
Yeah,
if you give up 4 goals in soccer, that is a lot. That's like 50 points in football. In
Yeah.
NFL, you don't.
You get 45 to 8.
45 to 8, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Tim Howard's a huge key to the U.S. soccer team, being the goalkeeper. He is hurt. He's out. I don't know how long exactly. I haven't done a lot of research on it. That's a huge blow because Tim Howard is one of the best keepers we've seen for a while.
Uh-huh.
And, the last World Cup, he kept the U.S. in so many games because of him in goalie. I don't know if it's just because of him. I think a lot of it.
Head coach.
Yeah, Jurgen Klinsmann.
Do you think he's out after this year, or do you think he's lost the team first of all?
I think in some regards, yes. They get a few months off now till March. I think it's 27th or 24th. I think it is. Yeah, March 24th is when they play again, and they play Honduras. So they get a little break. Maybe he can get control of them again. I'm not 100% sure. I think if he'll go through the whole qualifying, and if he does not qualify them for the World Cup in 2018, he's out. That's my thing.
I don't even think he gets that far.
You don't think
This is kind of pathetic as a U.S. citizen. I love U.S. I mean,
yeah.
I
Who
believe
doesn't?
that we
Yeah.
will win.
I believe, yeah.
He's had some trouble in the past. He's had some good times in the past, but you got to look at the future, what the present and the future. What's happening now? What could happen in the future if he stays, or is it too long? Do you make a mistake by keeping him too long? I don't make that much money to judge whether he stays or not, so I can't decide that for everybody else.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the U.S. does with him. I don't know. I could see him gone. I could also see him staying till the World Cup. And if they do not make the World Cup, there's got to be a decision to fire him, I think, because
that's not like
as the U.S., you've got to be in the World Cup. You have got to be in a World Cup. That draws a lot of people to watch soccer, and I know there's specifically some people that the only way they'll watch soccer is if it's in the World Cup. And
I'll be honest.
I watch
Fort
some
Hays
MLS.
soccer because we are cool and we are good.
Yeah,
but I honestly don't watch soccer unless it's the World Cup.
Yeah, I've watched some MLS,
I'll
not much, but some. But yeah, U.S. has got to get in the World Cup. It's a must. It really is. It'd be such a shame to not make the World Cup.
Yeah.
To a country like Costa Rica, Mexico, Honduras, anyone else that's in our group. Matt, that pretty much. We
do have some breaking news towards tonight. We'll be tweeting it out and Facebooking it. They picked the semifinalists for the Hall of Fame for the NFL tonight.
Oh.
So on ESPN. So if you want to watch us on ESPN, if you don't want to watch, you want to follow us.
Yeah, make sure and follow us.
We should have it. Looking through it with our game tonight also.
Yeah.
Fort Hays men's basketball plays tonight.
Season opener.
Home opener at Gross Memorial Coliseum. I believe it's
7
o'clock.
Yeah.
So
We'll
get
be
out
there
there.
covering.
We'll be there statting and covering and tweeting and everything. We might peek at our thing too. Peek at the other events in sports too. But we got to give a good shout out to them for their win Sunday.
Yeah.
It was well deserved.
Yeah, it
See if
really
they can
was.
continue that.
Matt, we'll look ahead to Thursday a little. Probably not going to be that long of a show, maybe. But we got Thursday night football. It'll be the Falcons and the Saints. I think Saints travel to Atlanta to take on each other in a big game for both teams.
Yeah.
And then we'll have our weekly hockey rankings and power.
Just for you, Eric Harrington.
Yeah, and any other hockey.
Just because you missed a show last week, while we said we're talking about hockey, this show's tomorrow is just for you, hockey aficionados.
Yeah, make sure you check out our hockey edition right here on the Matty Highland Smitty McQueen Sports Show. And then we'll bring you also other hot topics and breaking news. And then always, you won't want to miss our show on Friday.
Correction, sorry. The Saints go to Carolina.
Or Carolina, yeah. Well,
Same division, but you said the Falcons.
Yeah,
Just want to clarify.
Saints and Carolina Panthers. So, my bad on that.
That pretty much wraps up today's show.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow. You don't have anything, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow our Twitter page at MHSM Sports Show and give us. You can tweet us. We got polls up all the time. We tweet stuff, retweet stuff. Look up our Facebook page at Matty Highland Smitty McQueen Sports Show.
Look up our own Twitter pages.
Look up our own Twitter pages at MGH Sport. I have a lot of good stuff on there. So does Brandon or Smitty McQueen.
Yeah, 3B Smitty 3. And you can find that
in our Twitter bio.
Yeah, on our sports page.
Yeah.
So
we also have our YouTube page up and running. Please subscribe at MHSM Sports Show.
Gotta upload some more videos.
Yes, we'll have
I
those
think
up.
we only got one up, so we'll try to get on to that tomorrow or Friday and get those uploaded, Matt.
Yeah. From Matty Highlands,
And Smitty McQueen.
thank
so
you
long.
and have a good night.